G'day and welcome back to the All Things Footy YouTube channel. Today we're doing a little bit of a special styled video once again, where we are going to go over the last 10 premiership teams, as in their physical list of 22 that they had on grand final day. And we're going to be grading them and in the end ranking them. So how it will work is we will grade each specific position. So the back line out of 10, the midfield out of 10, the forward line out of 10, and the bench out of 5. And then we'll add it up to a total. So obviously the total will be out of 35. And then whoever has the highest score at the end will be crowned as our best premiership team in the last decade. So I'd like to introduce Liam, and he can start off with the 2012 Sydney Swans after their victory over Hawthorne.
Yes, we'll go all the way back to 2012, and it was a decent side, but in their back line, I've given them a 7 out of 10. In the midfield, I've also given them a 7, their forward line a 6, and their bench a 4 out of 5, equaling to 24 out of 35. Not the greatest team on paper, but on the day, they clicked into gear and obviously won the flag back in 2012 against the Hawks.
So I will now jump into the 2013 Hawthorne Hawks side after their victory in a bit of a scrub match against Fremantle. I gave their back line a 7 out of 10, same as the Swans. The midfield an 8 out of 10. I think they were a little bit deeper in that category. The forward line an 8, their bench a 3, which brung the total to 26 out of 35.
I'll now move on to 2014 Hawthorne. I gave the back line an 8 out of 10. I feel like it improved a little bit from 2013. The midfield a 9 out of 10. I feel like they also improved in that category. Forward line an 8 and the bench a 3. So it's the same as 2013, equals to 28 out of 35.
Now for the 2015 Hawthorne side, their last of the three-peat. The back line, I actually went up one with a 9. I believe they included Frawley that year off memory. Their midfield, I gave a 9 again. Their forward line, I gave an 8. Their bench, I gave a 2 out of 5. And the total was, once again, 28 out of 35.
On to 2016, the drought breaker for the Bulldogs. I gave the back line a 6. I don't think they had any real stars back there, down there, apart from also JJ Horn and Norm Smith. The midfield, I gave them a 7. Would have been an improvement. The forward line a 6. Again, no real key forward they had that day. And the bench a 2 out of 5. I think they didn't have many good assets coming off the bench. So in total, unfortunately, 21 out of 35 for the Doggies.
On to 2017 with Richmond, their 37-year drought breaker against the Crows. The back line, I gave a 9 out of 10. It was a very sort of young but experienced at the same time, like, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Backline, their midfield was 10 out of 10. Dusty, Cochin in his prime, etc. The forward line was a 6 out of 10. They had no real target other than Rewalt. Their bench was a 4 out of 5, which brought the total to 29 out of 35, which is the highest so far.
Very good. Now on to 2018, the West Coast side. I gave the back line a 7 out of 10. The midfield an 8. Their forward line a 6. Again, no key forward apart from Darling and Kennedy. No other real targets. And then their bench a 2 out of 5, which brings their total to a 23 out of 35.
Now on to the second of Richmond's 3 premierships. I gave the back line a 9 out of 10 again. The midfield a 9 out of 10. I think they dropped off a little bit from the 2017 midfield lineup. Their forward line a 7 due to the inclusion of Lynch down there. Their bench a 3 out of 5, and the total being a 28 out of 35.
We'll now move on to 2020, their back-to-back flag. I've gone with pretty much the same. I don't think they really changed much from 2019. So I've gone the back line a 9, midfield a 9, the forward line a 7, and their bench a 4 out of 5. So I've upped it 1. So I think I kind of just ran it back. No real big changes came in to the team that year for the Tigers.
Now for the most recent of premierships, the 57-year drought breaker was the Melbourne Demons only a few weeks ago against the Western Bulldogs. The back line I gave a 9 out of 10. Lever, May, and the rest of the crew. The midfield, 10 out of 10. Absolutely outstanding. Gorn, the best ruck in the comp. Petrarca, Oliver, Viney, you can name it all. The forward line, 7 out of 10. They didn't have a standout target. Bailey Fritsch was their main, but they just click so well. The bench, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5, which brought the total to a 31 out of 35.
We'll now move on to the final leaderboard of who stands where. So at number 7, we had the Bulldogs, obviously on the 21 points in their 2016 side. You know, great team. They clicked together, but on paper didn't really look didn't look the greatest, sorry, should I say.
In 6th were the West Coast Eagles from 2018 with the 23 points. Obviously had a few premiership heroes, but outside of that, they were not the greatest on paper, but it worked out and they all clicked.
In 5th, we had Sydney in 2012, pretty much the same as West Coast, a few premiership heroes, but again, no one else really who stood out. So that got him in at 5th on 24 points.
In 4th were the 2013 Hawthorne Hawks with the 26 points. Maybe a little bit harsh given they had Buddy and 2014 didn't, but the rest of their list was very elite.
So we had a 3-way tie for 3rd. We had the 2014, the 2015 Hawthorne sides, and we also had the 2019 Richmond, all on 28 points. Again, very strong teams throughout. Good backs, good mids, good forwards, and a decent bench. So that got them all tied in at 3rd.
In at the silver medal, where we had the 2017 as well as the 2020 Richmond side on the 29 points. Both very damaging teams that would pretty much destroy anyone on any given day.
Coming in on the gold medal on top spot, we had the Melbourne Demons from this year. Their back line very strong. Their midfield a 10 out of 10. Forward line, they didn't really have a key target, as Harry just said, and their bench very strong, a 4 out of 5. So that got them on number 1 on the 31 points, which takes the Premiership Cup, you could say, in the last 10 years Premiership side.
So there you have it. The Melbourne Demons are ranked as our best grand final team on paper for the last decade. Let us know down below who you think out of these 6 teams off the top of my head have had the best premiership team. That'll do it. So thank you all for watching, and we will catch you in the next video.
See ya.